Tonight I'm going to do a dish that contains no meat. It's actually a Northumbrian scone, or was commonly called in these parts a singing hinny. I've been asked to do this by, once again, John at work. He found a recipe and sent it to us, so I'm going to have a go at making it in the old traditional method. First thing we need is 8 ounces of plain flour. We've got our scales here. We have our scales. I keep saying the phrase, we've got wa scales. They aren't wa scales, they're just ordinary scales. Wa means our. These are our scales. But they're actually Deb's scales, which is on holiday, so she doesn't know what I'm doing with them. A little bit more. Right, 8 ounces of plain flour. That's the one. Little pinch of salt. Suppose that's a pinch. And a teaspoonful of baking powder. Teaspoonful of baking powder. That's sieved into a mixing bowl. I can't find that sieve, so it's just going to get put in like that. Right, the next thing we want is 4 ounces of butter. You could use margarine if you wanted to. Some recipes say half dripping and half butter, but I don't much fancy that, so I'm just going to use 4 ounces of best butter. I would imagine this will be an 8 ounce pack, so probably half of it will be 4 ounces. Come back, you bastard. How we're looking. A little bit more. Right, that's 4 ounces. That goes in with the flour, the salt and the baking powder. You need some of this to spread on the scones or the singing hinnies once they're cooked. Then you mix this up until it turns into the consistency of breadcrumbs. I think the best way is just to get stuck in with your hands. I've got gloves on, not to keep my hands clean, to keep the food clean. There, so I'm just going to get stuck straight into it. Perhaps I should have warmed the butter up a little bit. Just rub it together so it sort of becomes all crumbly. This would have been cooked on what they call a griddle. The griddle's a cast iron, hot cast iron plate. It could well have been held above an open fire even, or a range. I thought about cooking this on top of me wood burning stove, but I don't think I'll be able to get it clean again in time for Deb's coming back, so I'll just use I've got a good frying pan. I'll just do it in there on the hob. It's all starting to blend together now. Once again, this is very rich food. It does contain a lot of butter, but it's not the sort of thing you're going to be eating every day. Once a week treat certainly wouldn't do you any harm. This has done me no harm up to now, I don't think. Right, I think that's sort of the consistency we need. Most of the lumps have gone. All the butter's mixed in quite nicely. Right, we'll settle for that. When I say we'll settle for that, it means we will settle for that, or I'll settle for that. Next we need 1 ounce of sugar, ordinary sugar, the sort of sugar you put into tea and coffee. This is slowly added and mixed in it. To this you add milk, mix it up to get a nice firm dough. I don't think it'll take very much milk. A stiff dough. What's meant by a stiff dough? Is that stiff? It's fairly stiff to me. Right, it's starting to go all claggy, sticky. I'll call that a stiff dough. Right. The next ingredient is 2 ounces of sultanas. Whoa, that's a little bit too much. Right, 2 ounces of sultanas. You could use raisins, you could use any sort of dried fruit I would imagine that you could fancy. This all gets mixed together and then gets rolled out into a sheet about 1/2 inch or 13mm thick, and then it gets, like I say, cooked on your skillet. In my case it's going to be a nice dry frying pan. I've got some flour on the board to stop it from sticking, which seems to be doing the job quite well. Right, so you roll it out until it's approximately 1/2 inch or 13mm thick. This looks good. It's sticking a little bit, but it does look good. Right. We'll just check on the thickness. These calipers are ideal for kitchen work because they're coolant proof. So we've got 0.4325 of an inch, which is about 60 thou, under 1/2 inch. I'm sure that'll be quite alright. I'll cut it in half, but I'll cut it in 4, which is going to make it a lot easier for me to move around once I get it into the pan. We need to lightly, actually says lightly grease the skillet. I don't fancy eating grease, so we'll just put a little bit of butter in. It's a non-stick pan actually, it's not a skillet, but I'm sure it'll do the job. I'll just move it across onto the bigger gas, not to get more heat, just to get a more even flame. Right, so we've got our butter. Turn the gas down. Pan's coated in the nice hot butter. We'll put the scones or the Hinnies in there. I'll put them that way, and then the 4 corners will go together in the middle. I've done made these before, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Unfortunately, I've burnt them. Not too badly, but they're a little bit blacker than I would have liked. They're certainly cooked. Lovely and crumbly. Cooked all the way through. Just nice. With a nice cup of coffee. These are beautiful warm. I'm not going to put any butter on them. They're moist enough. I'll take the rest of them to work in the morning and the lads can try them, see what they think. Apart from burning them slightly, they are very nicely cooked inside. Very enjoyable. Not bad at all for a mechanic that pisses about.